We don't need to explain our evolution. We just need to honor it. Welcome to Intuition Unlocked, the podcast empowering empathic women who feel misunderstood, overwhelmed, or disconnected from their intuition, begin to trust their sensitivities, find inner clarity, and show up with embodied, unstoppable confidence in their daily lives. I am your host, Olivia Ashley, an empath and intuitive, and I am so happy you're here. Hello and welcome to Intuition Unlocked. I'm Olivia Ashley, and today's episode is a special one because it's our 100th episode. I honestly cannot believe we are here already. What started as a quiet inner whisper, a simple desire to create a space where women could reconnect with their intuition, has grown into this soulful, heart-filled, supportive community, and I am so grateful that you are here. To honor this milestone, I'm sharing something a little bit more personal and reflective in this episode. Today, I'm going to look back on this journey of podcasting and share 10 powerful lessons I've learned from creating and showing up for this podcast. Lessons about intuition, energy, connection, confidence, and the deeper transformation that happens when we follow what calls us. And to celebrate the podcast hitting 100 episodes, I'm hosting a very special giveaway. One listener is going to win a free 1-hour virtual Akashic record reading with me. And to enter this giveaway, here are the 3 steps you need to take. Firstly, leave a rating and review on the podcast wherever you listen. Secondly, take a screenshot of that review. And thirdly, send it to me via email at olivia@olivia-ashley.com or DM me on Instagram at wildlyolivia. More about the giveaway will be linked in the show notes. So once you do that, you will be entered into the giveaway and I will select a winner at the end of May 2025. And as a thank you to everyone who participates and everyone who listens, for the next month, so now through the end of May, sessions with me will be 10% off. You can find more about these on my website, and I've linked these as well in the show notes. All right, let's dive into these 10 reflections and celebrate 100 episodes. Number 1, you don't need to feel ready to start. When I recorded my first episode, I was newly postpartum with my 3rd baby. I was sleep deprived, raw, and unsure of what I was building. I had no fancy mic, no strategic launch, just a whisper in my heart that said, begin. And that was enough. Starting before I felt quote unquote ready, cracked something opened in me. A sense of agency, of courage and alignment. And what I learned from that is this: readiness is often a myth. What we're really craving before we start something is clarity, but clarity does not arrive before the leap. It's born in the motion of doing. So if you're waiting for the perfect moment, it may never come, but your willingness to do it, well, that's sacred. That's where the magic begins. Number 2, your voice gets clearer as you use it. In the beginning of this podcast, I didn't know what my voice would be or what I wanted to sound like or what I truly wanted to say. I was a little bit tangled in old stories and the want to be polished, professional, and not take up too much space, but just the right amount. Yet every episode was a return to myself. Every time I hit record and I showed up in my authenticity, my voice began to soften. It strengthened. It got clearer. And I moved from trying to get it right to simply being real and authentic. And that was the shift. Podcasting gave me space to be in process and to let that be enough. If you're still searching for your voice, keep showing up. Speak even when it's messy. Because truth does not come from rehearsing. It comes from revealing. Number 3, intuition isn't woo-woo. It's wisdom. So while I don't love to admit this, I have to be honest that many years ago, before I really started working with my intuition and learning more about spirituality, I actually thought that being psychic and intuitive was a specific gift that only certain people had. And it felt so elusive or intangible, or like, wow, I'm comparing the level of where someone else is at with where I am at. And with that came some doubt of my own intuition, of second guessing my nudges or feelings. And yet I realized the more and more I worked with my intuition, learned about it, talked about it with others, and got perspective, I began to realize that intuition is our original language. It's our sixth sense, and everyone has access to this. Everybody has an intuition. It's that quiet pulse beneath the noise. It's the full body yes, the tight chest no. And it's often not loud or dramatic the way we see some psychics or others really tapping in and using it. I realize that has come with time and experience and working with their intuition and channel, which everyone can get to. But for many of us, it's often gentle, persistent, and already speaking, we just don't always have the space or way or knowing of how to listen. But we can learn that. That sense is always there. And with every episode I recorded, I began to cultivate that and realize that there is a way to live intuitively, and there's a way to have it be integrated and utilize it in every form, whether it's in our work, our friendships, our relationships, our choices, our day-to-day well-being. And it doesn't always look big or flashy, or we're not all meant to be using it on the scale that maybe a psychic or someone who has a business around it is using it. And yet we all have it, and we can learn it and cultivate it and let it be magical in our own ways. And with every episode I recorded, there was an active tuning in. And now my voice has gotten louder and my channel has gotten clearer, and I feel more connected than ever before. And I know it's helping and guiding the way. It isn't a woo thing. It is a true wisdom here for us to utilize. Number 4, the magic happens in the moment. Some of my favorite episodes weren't the most planned, but they were the most present. They were the ones that I hit record on without overthinking, and I dropped into the now and I let my heart lead. I've learned that intuition isn't just about scripting life. It's about meeting it and integrating it. Some of the most powerful messages I've shared were the ones I didn't see coming until I said them out loud. The medicine is truly in the moment, in presence, in letting your soul speak before the brain edits. Whether it's podcasting, parenting, or creating, do not underestimate the beauty of just being with what is. Number 5, it's okay to evolve and pivot. This show has gone through many seasons if you've been here for the entirety of this beautiful ride. I started this podcast as Live Wildly, and that's still core to my heart. And then it became Intuition Unlocked late last year. And we've moved from being very much adventure, living wildly, exploring life and motherhood and friendship, to being very intuitive and spiritual and grounded, confident, woman anchored. And guess what? There is no failure in the changes I've been through. There's only been growth, because evolution is natural. We are not meant to stay in one version of ourselves forever. I've learned to give myself permission to change direction and to let go of what no longer feels aligned when that feels correct for me. And I trust that my people, my real community, will grow with me. And it's okay if you don't. We don't need to explain our evolution. We just need to honor it. Because your voice is allowed to shift, your direction, your path, your story are all allowed to change. Your message is allowed to deepen, and you are allowed to expand. So welcome the evolution and pivots. Number 6, fear will come along for the ride. Let it, but do not let it drive. Fear has been a constant companion on this journey. The fear of being seen, the fear of getting it wrong, the fear of being too much or not enough. But I've learned that fear does not mean to stop. It means that you're stepping into something meaningful, and there's a reason that you're coming up against that fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to move forward with it. I can still feel fear at times when I'm doing something new, when I'm connecting with someone different, and before I hit publish, and when I really just want this to land and feel good for those who listen. But I can get in my head still and worry, did that make sense? Did I say the right things? Oh, I should have added this part in, but here we are. That's reality. Yet I no longer let it be the boss anymore. I no longer procrastinate, push things off, or avoid things or not start them at all because fear is there. Instead, I acknowledge it. I breathe with it. I thank it for trying to protect me. And then I let my intuition lead instead because I know I will always be okay. I will make mistakes. I will fail. And yet I know I will get back up. I will grow, and there's meaning and purpose in it all. Number 7. Your truth will always land where it's meant to. There have definitely been episodes on this podcast that I felt were maybe not quite right, too messy, too woo-woo, or ones that I just worried about talking about. And yet these were the ones that often actually got the most heartfelt messages and response and the most plays. And I've learned from this that you don't need to go viral to make a real impact. Sometimes your words are meant for just one person. And that's more than enough. So you don't need to chase approval. You don't need to overperform. You just need to say what is true, what is on your heart, and believe and trust that the person who needs it will receive it. And not everything is going to land, and yet that's fine. It's about the journey, it's about the expression, and understanding that sometimes we don't even know what the impact will be. And so there is a trust in allowing yourself to speak your truth, show up in your truth, and continue and be accountable, even if you feel like no one is listening, no one is responding or showing up. There absolutely is, because truth resonates in ways that strategy never will. Message 8, showing up consistently is a sacred devotion. There was definitely weeks where I did not feel motivated to record, when life felt too heavy, or I was under a lot of pressure, or I was really sick. And yet I always showed up, not out of pressure, but devotion and accountability. Because the space has never been about being perfect. It's about being present and giving it my best, whatever that looks like in that moment. And being 100 episodes in, I can say this: consistency is not about hustle. It's about honoring your purpose. It's about staying connected to what you care about, allowing your passion and your intuition to guide you. Whether that's podcasting, your healing work, or pursuing another career, keep showing up because you are building something deeper and you're moving towards something meaningful. When you're consistent and accountable, you're building trust with yourself, with your audience, with your friends, and with the divine. And that is more important than being perfect and having the most beautiful crafted thing every time. When we show up in our humanness, in our messiness, we give a permission slip to others to show up in that way too and say, hey, it's okay to not be okay, but you're okay. And we can honor you wherever you're at. Number 9, sisterhood and support matter more than strategy. This podcast would not exist without the support of the women around me, my soul sisters, my audience, my mentors, my community. There's a myth that we're supposed to do it all alone, but that's not how we're meant to live. I really learned that support is sacred and so needed. Being witnessed, encouraged, and celebrated by other women has been one of the most healing parts of this journey. You really don't need more strategy. You need more safe spaces. You need connection, sacred circle, time to be with the women and those that you trust deeply. So find women who remind you who you are. Build with them, heal with them, dream with them, and welcome that energy in because it's going to take you so far. Number 10, you are the message. After 100 episodes, the biggest lesson is this. It is always about becoming more you. It's never about the outcome. It's about the expression and the becoming of who you are. Every time I hit record, I come home to myself a little bit more because I'm using my heart, my intuition, and my intention to create something that feels truly me at its core. This podcast has become a mirror, a medicine, and a map of my life. And what it keeps showing me is this: I don't need to prove my worth or chase visibility. I just need to be who I am and to trust the timing, to trust who finds me and where this path will take me. That's the invitation I offer you too. You do not need to wait until you feel fully healed, fully ready, or fully perfect to share your truth. You are the message. You are already enough. You are already doing the work, and you are not alone. So show up, share your voice, express your truth, be whoever you want to be, and note that you will find the people who get you, who love you, who see you, who push you to grow even more. But just be you, with no pressure, no expectations, and trust whatever that looks like. So as I wrap up today's episode, I just want to take a moment to thank you, the listener. Thank you for being here, for showing up with an open heart. Thank you so much for being a part of this community, whether this is your first episode or your 100th. The journey of Intuition Unlocked has changed me in ways I never could have planned. It has taught me that your voice matters and you matter, especially when you're expressing yourself, your voice, your life in a new way. That intuition is not a special gift, but it's your birthright, and that you don't have to wait until you feel ready. You just need to trust the next step and take action. If this episode stirred something inside of you, if it gave you hope, clarity, or just a deep exhale, I'd love for you to enter the giveaway and leave a review and send that screenshot over to me. So this giveaway is open through the end of May, and I will choose a winner then. And I cannot wait to connect with one of you for a reading that meets you exactly where you are. And remember that all readings are discounted right now on my website as a showing of my gratitude. So if you feel called, check it out, book a session with me. I'd love to support you wherever you're at. And until next time, keep honoring your inner knowing, saying yes to what calls you forward, and trusting that your timing is divine. Thank you for joining me on Intuition Unlocked. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of insight, guidance, or intuitive inspiration. To dive deeper into our community and get access to exclusive content, head to my website at www.olivia-ashley.com and subscribe to my newsletter. You can also connect with me on Instagram at wildlyolivia for daily inspiration and updates. Remember, your intuition is your superpower. Trust it, nurture it, and let it guide you. Until next time, I'm Olivia Ashley, and I can't wait to connect with you again.